Hello, strangelings. Welcome back to my parlor. So today, I'm kind of talking about the oversimplification of things. Unfortunately, here in the States, I don't know how it is around the world, of course, but we do like to oversimplify. We have a tendency to take big questions like, what are your ambitions for the future? And turn it into, what job do you want? So that we can get that word quick, that one word answer quick and concise, you know? I recently watched a video where they were talking to these men and they were asking them, well, what do you want? What are you looking for in a woman? And this was in just a couple words. What are you looking for in a woman? Problem is, in just a couple words, okay, say I was that man. I would sit there and I'd be like, well, I do kind of personally, I'm a bubble girl kind of fan, you know. I like girls with bubble butts and bubble boobs. Not all the girls I like, just what I visually like. Let's see. I like a girl who is considerate, who's kind. I like a girl who is supportive of her friends, especially. I like a girl who can tell me if I don't look good in an outfit without making an ass of me or being an asshole about it. I like a girl who has a brain. Oh my god, I need a brain. Both girls and boys. I have to have brains. I love brains make people hot, let me tell you. Now, how am I going to say that in a concise one or two word thing? Bubble brains? Ew. I don't like bubble brains. That's the opposite of what I like, you know? But that's the kind of shortening up we kind of do here. The problem is, of course, that one, because we shorten things up, we miss so much of the nuance of pretty much all of it. Nuance is in the details, and the nuance is so important, especially if this is somebody you want to spend the rest of your life with, you know? There's also the fact that by shortening up really what we want and what we intend to say, we really are changing the narrative quite a bit. Because, of course, then it becomes more about, well, I want a girl who's loyal, smart, and pretty. Right? But that's, again, all that nuance got lost. I don't mind. I don't mind any face. It's more of the personality for me. But yeah, sure. Some people might think that bubble girls are pretty, and therefore they'd say pretty instead. But my pretty is not your pretty, obviously. I know people who prefer flat chest, flat ass. No judgment. I don't prefer that. That has nothing to do with me. Yeah, guys, just in case you're wondering, I do like girls too. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But the problem is not only with the shortening, but the shortening itself causes then miscommunication. Because, again, sure, I'll say a bubble girl is pretty, but if a bubble girl is not pretty to you, then you're picturing something completely different for me. And when you go out to see if you can find a girl that I might like, you're gonna get the wrong girl because it's your pretty, not mine. You know? There's also far worse ramifications from the idea of everything being shortened all of the time in this country. And that is when we have to have everything shortened, not only do we lose the nuance, but the details are important. For instance, we could shorten up a Protecting Kids Online Act, say. We have a Protecting Kids Online Act. We'll give the short version, which obviously pedophiles and other predators will be no longer allowed to be online, and when they do this, that, or the other, excuse me for that burp, this, that, or the other for, you know, to get their rocks off, and we already know it's illegal, well, we'll just grab them offline. Put them in jail. Collect all the evidence, and put them in jail. Okay, sure. But if that one got a bit of a pork barrel treatment, that means that, you know, there's a bunch of other things added on there. For instance, and this is just an example. I haven't not actually read the bill that I'm talking about, so this is just an example. For instance, Representative A decides that, yeah, but I also want to get funding for the school system to be able to monitor the children. Cool, that's worthy. It's in the bill title, technically. If you're protecting children online, you make sure they're protected at school too, online, right? So Representative P over there, he decides he also wants to add this bill which would make it safe for a 50-year-old man to find and marry a 12-year-old. But if we're still simplifying it and saying, well, this is for protecting children online, we're no longer doing that with this bill, are we? Oversimplification falls also in the fact that they will only tell you what the bill was originally for. What the original purpose, the main purpose of the bill is. So oversimplification becomes extremely dangerous. Not only does it become extremely dangerous in the abuse of power, but it also becomes extremely dangerous in the oversimplification can actually lead to real world abuse of people. Oh, well, he's just teaching his wife a lesson about her bad behavior. Used to be used all the time as a metaphor for spousal abuse. Almost as much as boom pow to the moon, Alice. So, yeah. I think I've exhausted my thoughts on that subject, honestly. But yeah, oversimplification, it can be quicker and concise, sure, but it can also lead to miscommunications, abuses in the system. It can lead to hurt for a lot of people because of the way it can be misused. So, though there are quizzes out there that are very non-harmful, asking you to give one word for your feelings on blah blah blah, it is when it starts showing up all the time in podcasts where men and women are asked to just give a couple words that that tell people what they're looking for, or when people are asked to oversimplify something that actually is a big matter. And unfortunately, at least here in the States, they've really convinced us enough to not quite tell what the difference is between a big matter and a small matter is. And they convince us not only to simplify all of it, but also to sweep it all under the rug too. So, something to consider this Thursday's thought. I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Don't forget, of course, doesn't matter who you are, I love you. Take care of each other, and I'll see you guys in the next video.